Well, today is the day. Um, Welcome, everybody. I appreciate you coming on. I am going to be working on a journal that I started a little bit ago, and it's going maybe a bumpy ride because I have not done a live by myself. So this is kind of a new experience for me. But hey, where there's a will, there's a way, and we're going to give it a try. So what you're seeing here is a journal that has already been bound. I used a binding that Kim has shown on her channel, Kim KP, and it's a very efficient, very effective. And what I used for this journal is a recycled calendar. I junk journal different ways, and this particular is just meant to be just a little simple journal. So I'm trying to include flowers. I'm using different mixed medias for this. And I started this on Michelle Waltz's channel. We were just live, and I've come over, and I'm on my own channel now. We'll see how it goes. This one I used a stencil. This is from my recent video where I did doodles, and those were done on book pages. These are some new stamps that I got in a pack for $1. Found out that the stamp pads didn't work, but I'm getting some good prints off of that. I used archival ink so that people can go ahead and go over. And this is dry now, so let's go ahead and let's give this some little antlers. Some antennas, not antlers. Deers have antlers. I think that's correct, right? So all right, there you have it. I used this stamp, and I also have this one that my best friend Carol gave me. She was also my school teacher. I've used that on this page. And you see, I didn't cover up everything that was on the calendar. It wasn't my intention to do that. The calendar started out black, and I wanted to be able to keep some of the original designs in the background. So I think you see those pretty good. And these are the pages I got finished while I was on with Michelle. And these are the stamps. I got these at Ollie's for $1. They were some of Joann's closeout stuff. And this is some of the flowers that I did with doodles. This is kind of fading in the background, and it needs a little more oomph to it. So I am going to take, which Sharpie? I'm going to use the fine line Sharpie. And let's just make a circle here. I'm just going to make it pop a little more. Some of the flowers on the outside are the orange. So this should look kind of nice, help blend. And this is a metallic, from a metallic set. Got just a little vine here, and I'm going to loosely go around it because it's a doodly type thing. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you want perfect, you need to go find another channel. This is not the channel for you. And on this one, it has watercolor on it, but I think I'm going to bring over some little dots on it also, just so that they're kind of something consistent between the two of them. And you can see that the calendar pages, I didn't intentionally cover up the numbers. So we'll just flip on through. This was from scrap that I had yesterday, but I thought that it added to the page. And here's a page that I used blue on. I added some yarn. And this little part of the yarn is kind of dangling off. And that's okay. I just finished making a pocket, and I was telling Michelle, this is my scraps from where I had cut out circles. And I just put some jelly prints back behind it, and this was some scraps from my friend Pat. So I honor her today by using some of the things that she didn't get a chance in her lifetime to use. This was from a magazine, and not quite through with this yet. I'm feeling a little bit of inspiration from my friend Christy Hartman, so I'm going to just take this little strip I've got here, and I'm going to add this little strip, which I could have thrown away. Could have, should have, would have, but it didn't. And I'm going to put it, I think it needs to go that way because I don't want to cover up that cute little star. I'll put it up the side here. Nope, don't slide, don't slide. Now, I do have a cloth somewhere that I've been using today. And I softened the edges. That was just out of a magazine. I softened the edges on that by using just some of my pearlized white. And that's just some cheap paint. I think my daughter got it for me from the pop-up shelf. So we have that. And I had just finished making this pocket. And I used some of my stickers that I have gel plated. These come from my pharmacy, and they make good gel plate material. And what I had done was I put it on a piece of cardstock, and then I just took the painting shears and painted around it. Hi, Barbara. You have to, this is my first time ever going live on my own, so let me see if I can make you a moderator just in case. Is that okay with you? Anyway, so I have this tag, and I went ahead and I put a scrap there. It already says you are gorgeous, and I do not want to cover that up. I'm going to slide that in, and I will come back later, and I will add something to the top, a string or something, and I will cover the back of that. So I have to make the chat bigger. I got to figure out how to do that. Oh, it's okay. It's okay because I do have things that I need to do. Hey, I'm so glad to see you, Miriam. I'm being brave today. I am doing my first and ever on my own live. You can thank Michelle Waltz for that because she said, yep, Lisa's coming on next. I said, I should do it because I was going to still be working. Just to go back, I'm working on a journal called Flowers, and this is something that's going to be going to a conference, and people will buy tickets to get a chance to purchase it or get a chance to win it through kind of a auction-y type thing. All right. I had this scrap left from yesterday, and I'm thinking that would look kind of cool. Now, how much of it do I think I want to use? Now, let's see if we can square it off. And we may just make it into a pocket. I'm going to angle that because I don't want all that yellow in there. And I need to cut it off here because it's got writing on it. And Disney does not need to come after me. All right, so there's that. No, that's not going to make a good pocket. Wait a minute. Should I do it that way? Which way? Okay, I'm working on getting that for you, Barbara. Okay, Miriam, remind me how to change it for moderator. I know you are a moderator. I'll go in and I'll get that fixed. Yeah, you're a moderator because we've been on together. That's probably why. Should I do the owls or should I do the birds on the other side if I have to choose? Which one do you think? The owls would need to go over on this side. Okay, click on the name. Add as moderator. Okay, I got it. All right, thank you, dear. Which one do you think, the owl or which one? Which one looks better? I think that kind of looks nice. I think that's what we'll do. I think we'll do it that way, and I'm going to fold that. You think I know how to do all these things. Hello, Julie Parker. Welcome to the first ever Lisa Mingus live on her own. I crawled out from under a rock and I decided to come on and do a live. No, I was on with Michelle earlier and I'm working on a journal. And so I thought, well, you know, I'm not quite finished here. I want to finish this journal today because I've got 2 more to do. I'm trying to get ready for the conference in September, and we're leaving early this year. We're leaving on the 6th. So I've got to be ready to go. All right, so I have that. Let me see if I can find something to go in there. That one could be. That might be kind of interesting. I'll cover that later. It's good for you to be here. I'm glad you're here, Julie. How have you been? I'm pretty good myself. I can't complain, or I shouldn't. Do I want that there? No, I think it's too much. What if I put this here? Yeah, I kind of like that. All right, let me try it again. Technically challenged here. Oh, okay. I didn't save it. That's what I did wrong. All right. Barbara is now able to mod. Perfect. Well, I'm glad you're getting better. Yeah. I tell you, when you're in pain, it's very disruptive. I will say that. I know that for a fact. It is very disruptive when you can't do what you normally would do, and everything you do, you have to think about how it's going to affect your body. I know about that very, very well. All right, I am going to glue this part down, and then maybe I should do my stamping first. Let's size this up right here. I don't know. Well, pain is pain, I tell you, and it's all inconvenient, but it is what it is. I had to start taking a different medicine, and it has some side effects, and one of them was I broke out in shingles for the past about 3 weeks. Oh well, it's not that I haven't had them before; it's just a new episode. The older we get, the more things happen, it seems. But I'm still getting up, and I'm still doing what I love as much as I can. All right, so I want to trim this off with my. I've been gluing, and I don't want to ruin my good scissors. Scissors. Yeah, my problem with shingles, Julie, is I cannot develop an immunity. So I stay on medication for them all the time, or I would have them constantly. And the shingles shot was not effective. They've tried giving it to me 2 different times, two shot times. So oh well, it is what it is. It could be worse. It could be worse. I've got the tools to deal with it as best I can. So all right. Now, let me grab my stamp pad, and I've got this new little stamp that is just perfect for that. And this was a bargain right here. I got it from Ollie's, and I paid $1 for it. It's from some of the Joann closeout stuff, so it was very inexpensive. Oh, what we say at our house is not today, Satan, when our feet hit the floor. Not today, Satan. We're not playing with you. It's been just a message saying there's a car sitting in front of the house. I don't know. He's going to check it out. I just heard him open the garage door, so we don't usually have people just come and sit around. Now this page, if you look at it very closely, you'll see that some of the scroll work that was on the original calendar, you can see it back there. So I want to kind of highlight that a little bit. And I have a little bit of pearl paint still here. Let me find my detail brush, which I was washing. And we'll see if I can add some of those scrolls back in. I could do this probably with a Posca pen, but I've got this pearl paint just sitting here, drying up. So we'll just kind of loosely put this in here. I want to leave the pages pretty open for people to write if they want to, or they can use it for art. They could use it either way, but I want those little subtle hints to be appreciated. And this calendar had like black chalk paint on it, and then the colors on it were real vivid. They were turquoise, red, a bright gold, and I tried not to totally annihilate those colors. And you can see little bits and pieces where that was added in. Now I'm going to create a swirl that is not here. Because I feel like it belongs there. We're going to go here, and then I'm going to do like a big swoop right here. Because in my eye, I see that. And then I've got a little bit of the yellow pearl that was used on the plate. So I've got that. And I think that's enough. I don't want to go too heavy. You can see that. And the paint's drying pretty quick because it's hot. Hey, I used to teach children, so you know I kind of I guess that's still something that's in me. Is I'm gonna put a stencil between this and what I'm working on just to keep it from bleeding over. Here's one of the situations on this page where you can see the calendar. I tried to let those numbers come through, and then you've got, you know, the dark band, and then it had the month. So the orientation of these has come out quite differently. I do see I could use, let me get in my little flower package here. Where that's really dark, I think I might be able to make a pocket that will kind of tone that down just a little bit, make a little tuck spot. And I'm not really measuring, but I do kind of want to get an idea of how much I need. We're going to go with, that is a 1.5 band. So let's see if we can get this, cut it just past. If I go to 2 1/4, I'll be getting that'll be pretty close to what I'd ideally like to see. I'm gonna mark it with a Sharpie here. So we're going to go cut it at 2 1/4. And I'm not going to get my big cutter out. I'm just not going to do it. All right, so we're on the keep it simple side here. And that's not straight. I can tell you right now it's not straight, but we'll fix it. That's what I like about doing the junk journals. I mean, they're forgiving. You don't have to be a stickler for everything being just so. We're going to go ahead and cut an angle on that. And that's going to let that little stripe peek through, but that's okay. I think that's going to work out just fine. And I may need to trim it on the top a little bit and the bottom, but we'll do that when it dries. I mean, I measure for some things, but when I'm putting my pages in, I will measure those. But when it comes to putting pockets on and things like that. I don't measure very often. I did measure when I made the big journal that's going, and I'll do a flip through on that, but it has been, I've got about 20 hours into the work itself, and it's been hit and miss between appointments trying to work. It's just different than usual. Um, my daughter started a new biologic, and so we're going to appointments every 2 weeks, and she has passed out, so I can go, so I do. All right. Yeah, that's pretty straight. And I was right. That's going to need just like a little bit of trim, so we'll trim it with our ugly glue scissors. And since it's got glue on it, we're going to go ahead and get it off our paper. The stuff that come out of the envelope are like greeting cards, things like that I have, through the years just trimmed and put in an envelope. Some of them are out of magazines, and I've been doing a lot of trying to organize and make sure that things are getting to the right place, so that they end up where they need to be and not just all over the place. Now, this is kind of a parchment paper, so it's not going to work okay. It will not work for a pocket, really. But I'm thinking if I cut it right through here, I think that it's going to make a cute little addition on this page. And if you haven't heard me talk about my neighbor who passed away, these were her little scissors. And, I want to be sure that I honor her and the blessing that I received, that she didn't have time to use all her craft supplies. So you can't take these things with you, and you need to be sure you tell your family what you want to have happen with it, because she had told her family, she said, just please don't throw it away. Give it to somebody that'll appreciate it. And I was able to go down there and get all kinds of things, and I feel very, very blessed, and I definitely want to honor Miss Pat. Her life was cut short by cancer, and her family, was willing to let me go and go through her things. So I appreciate it. Barbara, you take care as well, and thank you so much for popping on for my first ever on my own live. I'm just doing what I was going to do anyway, so it's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I've been telling myself it was time that I do it, and I kept talking myself out of it because I thought it was going to be hard and complicated, and it's really not so bad, but I definitely need to figure out how to get the chat bigger, or at least right in front of me. All right, so I have that there. I may come back in when that glue is good and dry, and maybe smudge some of the pearl just to kind of blend it out just a little bit, because it's got white here. But that was a beautiful card. Some of these were sympathy cards. Some of them were birthday cards. I mean, there was a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Now, this is more of that kind of easy on your eye. You see, it's got some of those little swirls. But since this page has a lot of pink on it, I think I'm going to go for the pink that I still have out here. But I want it to be very subtle. I don't want to make it too heavy. I think if I was Carrie, the crafter, I would probably say, I just want a kiss of it. Like he kisses the plate, I think I just want to put a kiss on it. And most of the supplies I use come from Walmart, or like these brushes were from Amazon. They're just not very expensive supplies. And that's given just a very, very slight little hint. And this paint is starting to get a little bit thick. So if I wanted to really be smart, I would get my clean water out, which I do have some. This is my paint to go. Like if I take my watercolor pencils, this is what I carry my water to go in. So, all right. So I put some water there. I'm gonna thin this out just a little bit, and that will make it easier to do it like a kiss. This is closely resembles a liner brush. A liner brush will do what I'm doing very easily. Well, hello, Christy Hartman. Welcome to my first ever on my own live. I was on with Michelle Waltz earlier, and I used one of your tricks. I took and I put just a little sliver of a piece of paper, and I said, "That's my ode to Christy." Now I have this blob right here, and I could ignore it, but since I am kind of kissing things, I think I will just kind of make it look like it was included in the original pattern. So I'm making a little bit of a scroll there. And since it's at the edge of the paper, I've got this right here and right here that I can put on it. And I think I've got most of the scroll work done. Now, here it has like a square that's hiding right here. And I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. And that's just going to give that little hop that they'll see when they move their page around. They're going to get just that little shimmer. Think of it as like a shimmer of hope, or a shimmer of the sunlight on a wet blade of grass. You never know what you're going to see. So you're eating, Miriam. Is it supper time or breakfast? Breakfast. It should be breakfast, I think. All right. That one has a moon on it, but I'm not going to call attention to that because I think it really shows up on its own. You see that? And you can see that little bit of shimmer. Now this one, that page has got kind of spots on it. So we probably should find something that's going to say, wow. And I'm thinking that I can use something from the page before. I could, oh, that's it right there. All right, so we're going to cut that and then look and see what happens. Get these nice little tiny scissors out with a nice sharp point on them. And I'm going to try to go around it as close as I can. I'm not going to get down to fussy cutting it because if I do sit here long enough to do that, you'll be falling asleep on me, I'm sure. All right. So if I go right in the middle of that, I've taken away that part. It looks more like it's a shadowing instead of a boo-boo. Oh, that is a late dinner. That sounds like us last night. We were real late. Throwing my paintbrushes on the floor. Not a good thing. All right, so we're just going to take some art glitter glue on this. And my goal is to just add highlights and to keep it kind of simple. And I think I'm achieving that. There's a line here that was the margin of the calendar that's used, so I want to make sure that I kind of follow that line with these little pieces. These little flowers that go straight up and down. If I do that and then I center it here, it should look pretty good. Now what I'll do is, I'll go ahead and do this part. I'm going to take some of this pearl paint. I'm going to add water to it because it's starting to get a little dry. And this is just acrylic paint. And I don't want it thick. I want it thin because I want it to be like a kissed look, not a heavy look. But that's going to kind of wash out that circle part. I was playing and having a good time. My gel plates were so excited when they come out of the closet. I had not gel plated in so long that I got carried away up here, and before I know it, 3 hours had passed. But I was trying to, gel plate everything I thought I was going to need to get all of these projects done before conference. So I still have table decorations to do, but they are being printed on cardstock, and all I will have to do is hopefully set it up for my Cricut to cut them out. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to be disappointed because that means I'll be hand cutting them or punching them out, which is okay. I think I can handle that part. So that almost looks like it was an oval instead of it being a blob. And those, I'm okay with those. You can see the numbers hiding underneath it, and then there's where I put the paint. Now I'm going to move the stencil that I'm kind of holding my place between my pages, so if they need to dry, I can keep moving on. This was one of my favorite pages. I don't know if you could say it's a pretty page, but I like it. It looks fun. It looks like, some playfulness, even though it's got inconsistencies in it. So I can, I'm going to get some of my flowers I made from my book pages for this. And I made myself a little folder to kind of separate the different sizes. You don't need a purple one, so that's not going to work. And these were just scrap envelopes. I did not even print them. I wasn't worried about that. All right, I'm going to pull these out. And if you've watched the flower doodles, you've already seen these, so I don't need to show them to you again, but I think this is the one that needs to go there. I think that's where it needs to go. Now, what am I going to put it on? Let's see. I have some let's see. I've got book pages sitting here. Oh, and I have I have an envelope. Let's see what color it is inside. Should I make a band? Oh, I see a pocket happening here. Definitely a pocket. Now, the next question is where I think that's perfect. I'm going to fold it back and forth just to kind of score it really well. and try to keep it straight. There's no guarantees on anything, you know. It's me we're talking about. And let's see, this is an envelope that my husband opened. Ask me how I can tell. Oh, yes. I wish I had that arrangement I have with my children. When I cooked, I would make them do dishes when they were in school. Because by the time I did all the day's work and then come home and help them with homework and cook dinner, I was done. My husband always opens from the top. I always open from the flats. So I can tell when he's opened something versus when I have. All right. I know there's a green pen here somewhere. My desk is getting very, very messy. I confess. I'm a messy worker. I'll find it. It won't take long. Okay. Getting all discombobulated. Let me grab my circle cutter real quick. This should be big enough. Let's see if I can go ahead and cut this. I'm going to cut both the notches. I'm just going to cut 2 notches in it, one on each side. That way I don't have to worry about a whole lot. And I'm going to glue this together so that there's nothing ugly showing. And then the pocket part will be behind. If I thought about it before I filled the side, I could have fixed it otherwise. I think that's good placement. There. Did I get to do dishes too? You should take me to the laundry room. I'm really good at, I really love doing laundry. There's something wrong with me, I think. I don't ever hear anybody say, oh, I like to do laundry, but I do. I think that's the way that needs to be oriented. All right. So we got that. Yeah, shouldn't have any dishes in my sink yet today, but there will be. We're going to have leftovers. I can tell you that right now. I don't know how, if you're, I'm a bulk cooker. And my husband says, well, why do you do it like that? And it's because it makes it easy. It's too easy not to. Now, I have these pages that came out of a Disney book, and I've already used one. But this one just might. I don't know. I'm not sure that's the one. And I'm going to have to figure out what size I need to go in here. So let's do that real quick. We'll grab, got some tags to put in there. That one will look nice. That's a little small tag. Let me grab my tag jar. Okay, have I moved it recently? Yeah, probably. I've moved lots of things in my room recently, trying to make room for the the things I got from my neighbor. So, not sure what I'll use. Let me look through my gel prints. Maybe I'll put a gel print in. Got a lot of things that I've cut up recently that definitely can come out to play. Just little bits and bobs, as some people call them. Ooh, there's some pinks that are pretty. That one definitely is going to need to be trimmed, so still want purple. No purple. Talking about bulk cooking, I go and buy large quantities of meat and I process it like a butcher would, and I enjoy doing that. So when I do that, I will come home and I will start processing. I generally bring home about 30 pounds of beef, and I process that. It takes 2 days. I usually do 10 pounds in hamburger, and then I'll come back and do the side of beef, the quarter that I get. I come back and do that next. That would look good with those. Okay, I think I've got a good selection of stuff now. So I've got more out on my desk. Just what we needed, right? Okay, so I like this one. I like this one that I made earlier today. That was some of the material that I got from Miss Pat. It's kind of a mesh. It was about 2.5 inches wide, and I've already used it several times. Now this is from, I finally finished a book of words, like find a word. I usually take it in the car, in a plane, anytime we're traveling. This particular book went to Scotland twice, and I finally finished it this year going to New England. So it was funny. My husband said, "Aren't you through with that one yet?" I said, "No, I finally finished it." So I immediately brought it upstairs to be gel plated because that seemed like a good way for it to end its life. So I'm going to tear this, and then I'm going to put it on a piece of card, something with some cardstock. That one is torn. Some of the stuff that I got from Miss Pat, I gel plated it, and it doesn't all have white background, so it did have some sticky stuff on it. So I guess what I'll do is I'll take this and glue it down with a glue stick, and then I'll cover it with white. But I'll go ahead and get the tag part of it made, and then come back later and put the solid background on it so that we can leave a place for them to write. And I'm going to drop it down just a little bit so that it doesn't totally annihilate the gel print on it. And I will cut this instead of tearing it. It's torn at the top. And then let's see, do we want a flower there? No, we don't want a flower. Let's use this stamp right here that's got script on it. I think that's what we'll use. So this will be letters on top of letters. Sorry, I bumped. All right. So that's pretty cool. And I think that'll make a nice filler for that pocket. And like I said, I'll come back and I will add, I may add something to this. I think I will put a tab or something on it, and I may have to shorten it just a little bit. We'll just have to see what all I put in the pocket, because I do want it to have a layered look. I may actually fold this over. I think that's what I'll do. I think I will fold that over so that it carries the same theme to the other side. Yeah, it doesn't take long for those gel print containers to get really, really full and, have to be relieved of something. Now, this piece is kind of odd. I do not exactly want the white there. Let's see. I'm seeing this in my head right here. And this was funny. I thought I found a big stencil at Miss Pat's house, and I brought it home and I started, because it had paint on it. I thought, well, she just didn't get it cleaned off. And it had these little loopy flowers on it. Well, it turned out it was something she had cut out. She had all kinds of cutting equipment and machines. So she had cut it out, and it just had paint on it, and it was nothing but cardstock, really. And I was just playing with it, stenciling going all crazy with the stencils. And then I realized, oh, it's disintegrating. So I did get some fun stuff out of it, but, there's only so much you can do. I brought home 3, like the square crates that you get that you can put, you can stack them and make a shelf, or you can use them for something else. I had those. I had 3 of those, and my car was loaded. So much so that they brought something when they come by later on. They brought something else. So here's the gel printed side, and I'm not going to do anything with that other than I'm going to slide it down in this little pocket I just made, and that's going to pick up the little white in there, and that flower is going to shine. So I think that works out pretty good. We're getting close. We're getting close to the end. I've got this. That was from the day I had my knee surgery. The day before, my kids came and we did art together. And I had used colored pencils on it, and I thought, well, that's not so impressive. But I did cut it out to use on something. And so here is a little corner pocket, easily made. And I did I put it on the gel plate and did a little bit on the gel plate, but then I came back with watercolor. And I made a little bit more interesting. So it's something I can use. It's something that, I've already got. Oh, yes, I like that there. So we're going to cut this off. This is out of a Disney Princess activity book. And it had lots of pages for activities. Let me cut that little scroll part out. That picks up okay. Maybe I'll put, maybe I need a piece of cardstock. That's not wide enough. Cardstock, where are you? Okay, this could work. Oh, this is an old piece. This piece has been around forever. I got some strippers in here. Just what we need, right? Strippers. I'm going to put that down this way. I think that's more. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? I think I'm just going to cut this right here. And I'll use it across. Oh, it could be a belly band. That's what I need to make with this, a belly band. That's centered. And let's see if we can get this little rascal centered. If I bring it down a little bit, I think I'm better off than if I try to. That way you see that peachy color that kind of goes with it. All right. Got that. Getting too much stuff on my desk. Are you getting dizzy yet? Getting too much stuff on my desk. Are you getting dizzy yet? No, he doesn't know about the strippers I hide upstairs. He often wonders what I'm doing up here. He said, "What in the heck can you be doing that you stay up there so long?" He just don't know how much fun I'm having. That's where the problem starts. Yeah, well, they're my strippers. They're not his. If he wants strippers, he'll have to get his own. Right? Not that that'll end well, but using plaid paper is kind of fun sometimes, but it's harder for me to realize the center. Okay, I think that's centered now. No, it's not centered. It was more centered before. All right, and I'm going to put a flower. I'm going to find a little flower. Where's our little flowers? Yeah, Miriam. you never know what you're going to find. I mean, I've been cleaning this room and combining stuff and just been doing all kinds of fun stuff, you know, trying to incorporate the stuff that came from Miss Pat's. So I've been really doing some more organizing than usual. And I run across some stuff and I'm like, oh, that was a long time ago when I did that. And I realized at least I've improved, you know, at least I can look at it and say, well, you know, I'm not where I used to be, which I think is a good thing. All right, so this will be another little pocket. And I probably need to do like a little flip out, flip in type thing. I think I need to add something like that. Let's see if I know this seems kind of odd. It's an odd choice maybe. But I think it might be interesting as well. And this piece when I cut it reminded me of some of Christy's work with a little stripe. So I think we'll put one of those in the pocket. We'll slide this one over and we'll put this right here. That's pretty good. I've got this, but that's an odd color right there. That's kind of cool for a little shorty. So we've got a good variety and there's good writing spaces. So I like that. All right, we got pink. And this was a little bit of a short page, so it could use a little help. I think I'm going to play with stickers here on this one. When you get return labels that you don't have to use, don't throw them away. Slap them on your gel plate because they really do make quick and easy add-ons. And I've got a whole bag full. I had been saving them for a while. I had not tried to do anything with them. And so I have been inspired recently to play with them. Oh, and this one's a nice sticky one. So let's get our gluey, messy scissors first. If the pieces are big enough when I cut them off, I will use them. If not, then we'll just cut it off and throw it in the garbage, because otherwise it'll be stuck to me in an inappropriate place and I won't know it. And you know what happens then? You're walking around with a sticker on your nose and your husband thinks it's funny and he don't tell you, and you know how that whole deal goes, right? I thought these were some of my nicer flowers that I did. They're really nothing special about them, but I really think that this might be the place to use it because it's got that blue and we're looking for quick and simple right now. I know y'all don't want to stay with me forever. It won't be long before it's time to start dinner, And like I said, you know, we're going to have meatloaf tonight because that's what is downstairs and it's available. Do I like that there? Sorta. Let's see what this piece is. Ooh! Yes, that's it right there. That's what I need. Julie, thank you so much. I'm hoping that people like it, and I hope they buy tickets for the raffle. These little journals will be in the raffle. The big journal will be on the auction table because I put over 20 hours of labor in it. So, you know, these I'm trying to keep it a little simple. Do you ever find something just laying on your desk and you think, well, why did that just pop up? Because it was what this needed. Look at that. Just slap it down. Don't give it a second thought. No worries. This is playtime, fun time. That's another piece of the papers from my word search book. And this has an odd pattern on it. That has the gold. So what if all right, I'm going to cut this sticker and then I'm going to use, which one do I want to use? I didn't get that many stamps out, rubber stamps out. Let's see about doing, we'll just put a few little flowers here. And that's simple enough. And that's archival ink from Ranger. And the pad is the monster pad, the 6 by about 4, I think. We're going to stick that right there. And then we're going to come over and do we want to do the same thing, or I've got this hello that's really cute. Oh, and this medallion. This thing turns out really cool. I like the way it looks. So we'll do, we'll stamp that. I'm going to go ahead and stamp 2 of those, but I'm not going to use them both right now because I don't need them both right now. And then I'm going to do the hello. All right. We'll cut these out. I've got an extra one to use at another place or in another journal, already made. Easy peasy. Yes, this is an Elmer's. I can't always find the big ones, but when I make my stuff when I go to travel, that's the one I take because I can do a lot more with it. All right, so those are 2 pages that are different, but kind of blend together. So we got hello and we've got flowers. And we're getting down to just a few more pages. So we've got pink. Where do we want to go? There's a large flower on paper. That works. Here's some little butterflies that are really cute. cut these out. No, I think it needs to go right there. I'm using mostly the art glitter glue, but on some of the things, it just seems to make more sense to use the Elmer's glue. But I find that sometimes with the Elmer's glue, it does not hold as well as the art glitter glue. I kind of like the art glitter glue, but most of the time, majority of the time, that's what I want to use. Is that what I want? I don't think I want the lettering around it, so we're going to trim that a little bit closer. These little scissors are fabulous. They've got the sharpest little tip on them, but if I sat with these for an hour to cut, oh, would I be sorry later on. That's why I do things in batches, I think. My husband said, well, I don't understand why you got to do this now. But he don't realize, you got to do it when you feel like doing it. When your body says, okay, you can do this. All right. And it doesn't take very, I'm surprised how little art glitter glue it takes and how quickly it dries. That's what I like about it. All right, so we've got butterflies and flowers. Now we've got a blue page. And that's a funny blue. But I do have this that's kind of odd. What if I take this and make a tuck spot? Oh, that'll work. That'll work really well. Okay. Now, I know that's not pretty, but I think we can work with it. And if it doesn't do everything it needs to do, there's always markers. There's watercolors, alcohol ink markers. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that I can come back in and play with it. Come up the side. Let's fill that in. One of the things that I'm going to do with these is each one, I'm going to put a note in them that tells them how it was made, that it was made from an expired calendar, and where the different parts and pieces come from. Now, that, to me, is interesting. And I'm thinking, I think I'll use the medallion again, because that seems to be a very good piece to balance out what you're doing. Nice. And I'll go ahead and I'll put one on the other side as well with just a stamp. We'll stamp it here, and we'll stamp it here. All right, and we're to the back of the, almost. I thought we were there, but we're not there yet. All right, this is the little stripper from the stripper set that has the hearts on it. And that's got metallic on it too. It's not the same color yellow, but I'm good with that. I like that. I think I can make that work. I'm going to trim that out more. All right. There we go. And since that's got some yellow over there, let's put, do we want to put hearts over here too? Or ripples? Or, ooh, let's go abstract. Yeah, let's go abstract here. Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna be silly. Oh yeah, we'll have to be careful mixing the alcohol with the strippers. We'll get sent to the naughty nerds. And I'll come back in and I'll probably outline this with Posca. But that gets us to the very back. So I will do a, let me move some stuff off my desk here. Let's do the full flip through here. I've got flowers. I used a white jelly roll pen, stencil, doodles, stencil, doodles, stamps, 2 different stamps. There's stamps, doodled flowers, stenciled flower, scraps, card, things trimmed out of cards. A pocket. Got butterflies at a feeder. And then I've got the daisies that I added the pearl to, the outside. No, don't come up. Okay, some has stuck, so there will be some repair needed. There we go. That's easy enough to fix. I can do that. All right, so let me mark that page so I won't forget to come back in there. Got a pocket, and this one was from a piece of clothing. It says, "You are gorgeous," and I've got to put I've got to come back to this page anyway because I've got to put some printable some paper that can be printed on. This is another tag off of a piece of clothing. And that could go in either way. But I think I like it that way the best. This is all out of a activity page book. Stencil, an envelope window, a card, and I need to get that pocket stuffed. This is from a greeting card trim. This page I've added the pearly paint to it. And I did the same with this one, and that's flowers from a card. This is from an envelope. These are doodles. And this is a pocket from a gel print. And I've got it stuffed with a gel print. Printed on, that was cut off of a 12 by 12, one of the pads that you get. This pocket needs to be filled, so let me put this here to remind me. And then this is a belly band. I'll stick this in there for now, and I'll come back and put something in there. This pocket's already full, ready to go. This is writing space, doodles. Here is some more of the pearl. And I did not do anything to that. It already had some pearl on it, and you can see the shadowing of the calendar hiding behind it. This, I just added some scraps, to bring those colors together. This is stickers that have been recycled using the gel plate and stamps. Butterflies from activity book, doodle flowers, a gel print that had been used previously in the book, and I used that same stamp. And I can use whatever I want in there. I may even use this piece, but we definitely need to make an area for writing. Use the same stamp over here. This has got the swirl from the original calendar hiding behind it. There's a scrap piece that I used to make this pocket right here. I just decided to carry it on. And this is from a Stencil for PM Artist Studios. Hi, Karen McCoy. I am doing something today I've never done. This is my first live. So you come in on the end of it, but I've been playing, having a good time. And have you ever met my friends Julie? Julie's from Australia. And then Miriam, who is Art Curious. She is from Israel. So those are my friends that have come through this maiden voyage. So there you have it. That is one journal ready to go. That will be going to the conference. And I will put a link in the description below. The conference I refer to is, let me add it in here now. It's clusterbusters.org. If you are aware of anybody that suffers from cluster headaches, please get the information out to them. Let them know that you have a place to go and there are people who will help you. My husband and myself both are advocates for cluster headache patients. My husband is one, and we are here and available to help anybody. So I want to thank everybody that showed up. Hey, Mama, did you? One thing I didn't count on is the chat being so small. So I know if I do this again, then I definitely have to have my tablet where I can read, because I got my reading glasses on. But I am so excited that I finally took the Band-Aid off and said, okay, big girl, you got to do this. And I thank you all for coming along. And as always, I want you to know that you're in my prayers. You're in my thoughts for your safety and your comfort. And be well, my friends. Have a great day. And thank you so much. Your support means the world to me. Bye-bye, everyone.